listen, I have to go up and talk about social media. I don't think I can do this after we've had that serious, heartwarming session with Mary, right? So I am today first going to give you an introduction about who I am. And it's very important because you have to understand that I have reinvented myself with time. And that's what I'm here to tell you, what you can do through social media, the effective use of social media. I started my career as an HR professional, so I was working in HR policy process for different corporate sectors, including technology, oil and gas sectors, retail, media. And then I moved on because of the experience I had as an HR professional. Business, markets, I was working with US, I was working with UK, I was working with subcontinent, I was working a lot with the Middle Eastern markets. And I decided, okay, it's about time I kind of launched into my own career and sort of launched as an HR, myself as an HR consultant. And I swear I didn't decide this when I quit a highly paying job, but it just happened and I started like with just a few projects in hand and a lot of recommendations. Social media is how I started my entire business model, and this is what I'm going to be talking to you about, how important it is to realize the opportunities in social media, how to use it effectively to launch not just yourself but your branding positively. And basically, now by this time you should, I don't know if it's been repeated, but I also paint. So that's there. Now, how do I handle all of these things? My personal branding is very diverse. I am the CEO of a group of companies called Mushawa. So one, Mushawa UK is based in London, and that's the company that focuses on HR policy, building processes. I do employer branding, I do culture, I do training, and we do a lot of recruitment. We are headhunters in not just Middle East and subcontinent, but also UK, Europe, and US, right? And Mushawa Solutions is the baby we launched in Pakistan because I'm from Pakistan. I always started my career from there, so it was only natural that I have a company there. So Mushawa Solutions, that focuses on the HR aspect of everything that I do, right? And then, of course, you know that I'm now working with IWE as an advisory council member, and I'm in the process of launching a tech product called My Africa. Now that's an HR portal that I'm working on, and that's going to make employee engagement, mentoring, recruitment, training, all of that very easy for corporates. And I am myself a career coach and an artist, and I sell my paintings on my website. So that's a lot of branding, right? We're talking about digital personas. Whatever goes on the internet never comes off it. There's a single rule that everyone should know. So if you've ever logged onto the internet, you've already created your digital persona. Now, how you control the digital persona is basically how you give yourself the opportunity to progress. Your personality can be controlled by you on the social media. Now that's something you don't have in real life. But on social media, you can control exactly what you want people to see about you, only if you know how to do it. You have to realize the opportunities. Like life, we were just talking, Peter and I were talking, and I said, just like life, social media has its ups and downs. So if you want to capitalize on your branding, yeah, if you want to make sure that you go one step ahead and be recognized for who you are in a certain profile, in certain persona, in certain strength, you can do this. And if you want to hide a part of your life, you can do it as well. You just need to know how you want to do it and which platforms you want to use to do it. Why are we talking about Maldives and social media? Maldives is an amazing market for social media and internet. Can you believe that this is 2018 stats for internet users in Maldives? That's 77% penetration. And you would not believe that all third world countries almost have these kind of ratios happening. It seems like third world countries love talking to each other. We like conversations. We want to talk about each other, and we want to talk about how we feel, and somehow we can't do it verbally, but what we can do is we can express ourselves hiding behind display pictures and do whatever we want without actually saying it personally. This is why you have 77% internet usage in Maldives. And that means that if today you start your business or your persona online successfully, you could be selling to this 77%. You just need to know how to do it. There's a huge, huge market there. Why should you invest in your digital persona? Anyone would like to comment on this? Do you have any idea why would you want to comment, sort of like invest in your digital persona? Any idea? It's very simple. The world is becoming a smaller place because everything is automated. Everything is depending on AI. Everything is going to get imprinted on the minds of people through social media and internet. So if you're not already aware, you have all the information available on the internet. And if you want to succeed in life, you need to know what's happening around the world. You need global visibility and reach if you want huge turnovers. And that's what social media and internet can give you. Increased opportunities, digitization and automation. Everyone has opportunities to not just sell within Mole, but outside of Mole, in the subcontinent, in the UK. I started out from Karachi, Pakistan, and I went to Middle East, and then I went to UK. And right now I'm working towards Australia. Now all of this is possible because I use the internet. I understand how people use it. And I don't use it from one personal profile. I actually have 3-4 personal profiles or professional profiles that I already told you. The different branding. My HR is separate. My career coaching is separate. My art is separate. And my recruitment is separate. And then I'm working with IWE as a speaker and a trainer, but that's also separate. Yeah? There are two major mental blocks that can sort of not let you speak out or portray yourself in the digital world effectively. And it kind of goes back to everything you've heard in the last day and today. The two major things that hold you back are imposter syndrome and ability to self-promote. Now, if you feel like you don't deserve to be known, and if you feel like you don't deserve the popularity, you're not going to even try for it. Who wants to take a selfie if you don't feel confident enough about showing yourself to the world? But trust me, there's so many filters you can use. You can look like Angelina Jolie, or even better, right? So, it's just how you convince yourself that you're worthy of this. You can do this. You don't need to be conscious about who you are as a person. I don't care about how I look, but I care about how I speak. I care about what kind of services my companies give to my clients. And that's what I talk about on my different platforms. So now, Mushavar is only talking about HR policy and processes. My Applica is only talking about recruitment plans. Maheen Soomro is only talking about life, career, art. But I recognize that all of this can happen if I understand that I'm worthy enough of it. That I can fight myself and tell myself, yeah, I can do this. I don't have to be as popular as Kim Kardashian, but I can do this in a very different way. You see, all of these people, all of them started their careers through social media influencing. They launched YouTube channels, they launched Instagram, they launched their lifestyles online, and they've made money out of it. Simply just by saying that, oh, this brand of lipstick looks really nice on me. I had watermelon juice in the morning. I feel so refreshed. Okay, I went to get my facial done, and it's a $1 facial, but look, I look so much better. Now with the filter, you don't know actually if that worked, but because they know how to use the social media tools, they can sell whatever they want to sell. And this could be you. Now I'm not saying that all of us have to become social media influencers. No, you don't have to. But it really depends on what you want to portray. Why don't you want to become popular? Why don't you want to become known for your skill and talent? Like within even your circles. Like you don't want to be popular for fashion only. You want to be popular about how you feel as a person, about life, about your career challenges. Maybe you're great at parenting, like Mary is. And you want to portray that to the world. Now, it's your choice what you want, the content that you want to portray on the world, and then to the world, and then sell it to the world. Because why should you hide behind so many people when you can have a voice by just being effective on social media? And you don't really need a lot of money to do it. You can do organic audience growth. It takes a while, but everyone did it. All of these people did it. Different multiple platforms are available to you for you to use. Now you have to understand which ones are professional and which ones are personal. And when I'm talking about this use, I'm also going to talk about the misuse of these platforms, because that's extremely important. Instagram, when you talk about personal lives, personal information, you think about Facebook, because you're connecting with friends and family. But when you think about LinkedIn, you're connecting with people on professional basis, you're networking with people. Yeah. I know now a lot of you would agree with me that sometimes LinkedIn tries to become personal. Yes? You have those sleazy DMs lying somewhere there with information and images that you don't want to share with each other, but they're still there. And then you've got, things like Slack or Instagram and blogging, all of this. Now blogging gets used for personal and professional reasons. You just need to understand what platform is fit for what. Now LinkedIn is definitely professional. If anyone else tells you otherwise, I'm sorry. But it's a great way to really grow yourself as a brand in the corporate world and around the world. It's a very good approach, and you should use it. You don't want to miss out on this bandwagon. LinkedIn is definitely one of those things that you want to use. But how do we make Facebook professional? We can do it. I'm just going to get to it. LinkedIn. Maldivians are using LinkedIn on the rise. It's one of those markets that LinkedIn is very happy to penetrate in, and a lot of corporates are now using it. What I'm going to show you is how effectively, quickly, I'm just going to go through this quickly, how effectively you can use LinkedIn if you put in the right information, and I think you could definitely take notes on this. When you open your LinkedIn page, there's an introduction, right? That's the first thing anyone sees when they log on to internet, on LinkedIn, and they're searching for people similar to your skills. Now you need to make sure your introduction is really well written, and it has the precise information that kind of displays what you want. Make sure all your details are relevant and updated. A lot of people put irrelevant details. They would never update their headlines. Oh, you were an HR manager 10 years ago, right now you're an entrepreneur, but your headline still says HR manager, so you're getting DMs about an HR opportunity that you're no longer interested in, quite frankly. So make sure all of this is sorted. Don't forget to tick the show your education button on your introduction profile section. It's so important for corporates to know if you've had good education or if you have had a degree that you worked hard for. It should show on your introduction profile, because most recruiters would not add you unless they know you are the profile they want, and that they can know only by the information that they can see online. So there's a small video that I've just made, and if you can see, this is the introduction section that I was talking to you about. Now your headline is important, your visibility is important, making sure that you're updating the current position is important, make sure your education is showing. The headline is so important. Software engineer. No, software engineer is no headline. I don't know what you're doing. I'm sorry. Administration assistant. No, that's not important. I need to know what kind of skills you have. If you're into marketing and you just like write marketing, I'm sorry, marketing is so much now. It's digital marketing, it's SEO, it's event marketing, it's brand management. So what are you doing? That should be your headline, because that's what's going to attract the recruiters there. About section. This is the second most important section, and it says everything about you. It's like this small advertisement that you're showing to people. You're saying, oh, you know, you need to get in touch with me because I'm so important, because I know all of this. And if you're not in touch with me, you're missing out on a lot. And I'm the person you want to hire, or I'm the person you want on your network. Here's a small video about what I would suggest. Make sure if there are any links that you would like to showcase on your about section, they're there. For instance, if you have a blog, so important that you write, you sort of link it here. If you have a Facebook profile or a Twitter profile that's really active and you share irrelevant information, it should be there. Because you know, recruiters and employers want to hire people who are active on social media and know exactly how to use it. So if that's the kind of skill you want to showcase here, this is your page. This is your place to do it. Public URL profile. So many people don't know how to customize the public URL on all social media networks. But it's there. It's so easy now, and it should be relevant and it should be the same across board. So on LinkedIn, your public profile should be, for instance, mine is Maheen Noor Soomro. Now that's the same profile I have on Facebook. I have the same profile on Twitter. I have the same profile on Instagram. So if anyone wants to search for me, they just need to write that down on Google, and they will that search engine is going to show you all my profiles in one place. So no one has to run around searching for me on platforms. They can find it very easily because they know, oh, she uses this handle everywhere. So public profile and public URL are so important. If you're on LinkedIn, I keep asking people who are looking for jobs, if you're on LinkedIn, why would you not want to show your profile to recruiters who are not on your network? There's no point. If you're on LinkedIn, you want them to see your profile. Because LinkedIn is nothing personal. It's everything professional. It's everything you need to put out into the world. If you're hiding information like where you're working, what you've been up to, what are your accomplishments, what are your recommendations, I don't understand why are you on LinkedIn in the first place. If you want to hide yourself, might not have a profile at all. Why this mystery about you? Because quite frankly, that mystery is not getting you anywhere. It's the opportunity to make people know that you're there and you are someone they need to know. Now this is a small, this is where you can find your public URL, and here is where you can customize it. It's very easy actually. So if you've not customized this, I would recommend that you do this today, because this is how you get your ticket to the next best job, to the next best position, and also your branding. And what you want people to see, you can easily control it. I tell people, okay, it's fine if you don't want them to know all of the experiences under your different employment service, positions that you've led, but you should let them see all of your experiences and your education, because there's nothing to hide there. What you need to hide perhaps is, for women I understand, if you don't want to put in your mobile number because, I'm sorry, you don't want to be prank called at 3 a.m. in the night, I completely understand, and you don't want to be DM'd. But I, for instance, also share my Skype because it's something that I use for professional reasons, and if I don't want to speak to someone, I just block them. It's so much easier. Like people complain about unwanted attention on social media. The easiest thing to do to get rid of the unwanted attention is start ignoring it and blocking it. just like you should block negative energies in your life. Your experience, keep it short and concise, focus on your accomplishments and key skills. Now, every time you are writing about your work experience, make sure you wrote how you were outstanding in that position, in that certain position that you worked. How did you actually add on to the role? How were you beneficial for the organization? Because that's what you want to tell the other person. This is why I'm important. So your experience must showcase what you did right when you were working there. Because that's all I want to know. I don't want to know every day you checked in, you signed in your attendance record, and then you were like speaking to people and sending out emails. No, that's not what I want to know. What I want to know is, what did you do right? Why should I know you? Why should we hire you next? Network is net worth. Hire, it's so important. Add people from the industries you want to work in, you want to network in, because your network is your net worth. That's the audience you want to interact with. If you follow good leaders, good knowledge leaders in your industry, you're going to learn a lot from them because they're active on LinkedIn. They're sending out articles and blogs that are relevant to your experience, for your information. You want to be updated all times, and that's why you should have them on your network. Now, don't add people who are not really going to help you grow. Because one, they're not going to share your opinions, they're not going to give you any information that you really need, and they're really not really going to help you grow in terms of the professional growth you're looking for. That's not your audience. And this is why you should understand that you need to focus on what kind of industry you want to network in, and the second important thing is, what regions do you want to network in? Because LinkedIn will let you network in regions other than Mali. And that's what you might want to consider, because Mali is great, but what if you want to move out of Mali? You could do that. It's very much possible. Now, the only way you can do it is you have the relevant people in your network to make that happen for you. Recommendations. Make sure you have recommendations for each work experience you have on your profile, because I want to know if you work somewhere, people valued you there. So at least one recommendation for every work experience that you have, make sure you have it. Make sure they don't talk about, I remember when I started on LinkedIn and I was a young professional, people were commenting on, oh, she laughs so well and she's such a pleasant personality. That's not going to help me in my professional experience. That's not the kind of recommendation I need. I need recommendations that recommend the work skills I have, my experience, right? So make sure that your recommendations show that. Post articles on LinkedIn. Make sure you're updating relevant information for other people to read through, because that's going to increase your audience. At this point in time, LinkedIn only allows you 30,000 connections, but for instance, I have around 31,000 people following me because they read the articles and posts that I put out, and those people are from all over the regions that I work in, right? So make sure you're sharing relevant information with people, and it's just going to help you, this video. This is how you can post online. You can share videos, you can share, like for instance, why don't you share a picture of the Ivy conference you've attended today and yesterday on your LinkedIn profile and talk about it? What did you learn? What was the speaker that you most enjoyed? What was the session that you most enjoyed? And tell people why you enjoyed it, so that people would know that, oh, this person talks about certain skills and certain talents, and she knows what's the information that's most relevant to her professional career.
And tag Ivy.
And tag Ivy, yes, of course. So see all the activities that you can do. You can post, you can put on documents, you can post articles, and you can get exposure. Privacy and security is so important. in today's world, this is the next big thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and I'm just going to do this quickly. But ensure your profile can be seen by the right people, not just on LinkedIn, but outside of it. So many people choose to not show their LinkedIn profile on Google and search engines. Why? Again, my reason is that LinkedIn is safe as long as the information you're sharing there is important. Don't share the flat number and your postcode so that people can stalk you and be there. But what you can show is your educational qualifications, your certifications, your recommendations, your work experience, because that's what you need people to know more about you, right? Ensure your network is being informed of the changes on your profile, because if you're getting promoted, if you're joining new organizations, you don't want to message everyone and DM, hey, I got promoted. Now that's kind of creepy. But LinkedIn does it for you. So if you're changing your designations, you're changing your organizations, LinkedIn automatically informs your LinkedIn network. But that can only happen if you allow it. So these are the things that you need to allow on your profile. Job-seeking profile options are extremely important, even when you may not be actively looking, because sometimes you're not looking, but the best opportunity comes by you. You do, because it's human nature. We don't think we're good enough, but there's always a better opportunity. And you always have to believe in it, because if you don't think that there's a better ending to your life, you're really not thinking forward. So here's the settings and privacy. I'm quickly going to go through this. You can control how your profile is being seen and how others can see your LinkedIn profile, how LinkedIn is using your data, and job-seeking preferences. I consider that job-seeking preferences are most important, and how others see your LinkedIn activity. If you've not set these right, I would recommend you do this today, because this will help you go out to the world right now. Blocking and hiding is another really important section of the profile, and I'm just going to talk about that. So I'm talking about keeping two identities on Facebook and Instagram. Why? Because one identity could be available for people who you want to interact with professionally and business-wise, and the other could be for your personal life. Let's keep both of them very different. A lot of people choose to have two security settings on one profile for their friends and family. Trust me, there's so many times you post something that you're not supposed to post for your professional people and just get posted because you don't remember changing the privacy setting on every post, right? So I keep telling people, if you're a professional who has over 10, 12 years of experience and you're kind of going into that place where you want to become a consultant or a freelancer or you just make your page. It's so much better because anyone who wants to professionally follow you, they can do it on there and you can control the communication on that professional page. Yeah. Branding of the page, so important. Branding is so important on all the professional profiles that you have. Your passport size picture, don't put a selfie. It's just not acceptable. Make sure, and it depends basically what kind of profile are you sort of projecting on. Instagram you can put a selfie on, but LinkedIn definitely not. A professional Facebook page definitely not. But like I said, the branding has to be consistent on all your profiles. So if it's a professional profile, make sure that whatever information you've got on LinkedIn, you have the same information about your professional career on Facebook. It is the same information that you're using on Instagram. It's the same information you're using on Twitter. Because if you have too many handles and too many diverse descriptions of who you are as a person, you're confusing people. You don't have a red. You don't have one brand. Do you understand that? Yes. This is just an example. This is not the best example, but this is an example that I'm showing you. My about, for instance, I make sure that whatever I have on my about is the same to what I have on LinkedIn. It is the same everywhere else you look up for my profile, because I want to make sure that everyone gets the same message no matter where they go, because I want to be recognized for that skill set, right? Find online communities for personal and professional support and growth. So important. On Facebook, on LinkedIn, everywhere you will find opportunities to interact with other women around the world, other professionals around the world. It doesn't have to be women only. Please understand that. And relevant to your skills. You can join these communities. They can be very supportive. They can help you cope up with a lot of professional problems, personal problems, just give you great recommendations. It's the time to be seen and heard on social media. Just make sure you're not giving out information that is very personal on these communities, because people can screenshot that information and use it against you. So just understand the do's and don'ts of using social media. Communities are great, support, yay, everyone's together. But make sure you're sharing the only information you want to share with the world. Be responsive, be polite and courteous, give out minimal personal information to anyone. Now, a lot of people become really aggressive online. If they don't agree with a personal, political, social view, they would want to impose their views on other people. It doesn't work like that. It will backfire completely. Why? Because people will either block you, or they will not want to socialize with you. Sooner or later you will be blocked out of most of your communities, and that's not the way to go if you want to really create a brand and create a support system online. Do not share intimate details yourself, even if you're a lifestyle blogger. I keep saying that. I understand that Selena Gomez may share every time she goes out and buys something, or Kim Kardashian shows you everything she can show, but I don't think you want to do that yourself, because you don't understand how internet can work for you and against you. For instance, you're out having tea or coffee with your friends at 8 p.m. in the evening somewhere alone, and you post that on internet, and someone you don't want that information to know knows about it and uses it against you. There's so many incidents where people have gotten, kidnapped, raped, even worse, just because they shared too much information online about where their location is, what they were doing, who they were with, when they were the most vulnerable. So don't give out that information. Make sure the information you're sending out is controlled. I would recommend that you, if you want to eventually become a lifestyle blogger, follow a few lifestyle bloggers, see what kind of information they're saying, because you will see anyone with around 50,000 followers will not give out her or his present location at any given time. They will only talk about something or review something after they've visited that place, because safety is so important. We don't realize it when we see these lifestyle bloggers talking about it and influencers talking about it, but basically they're not there at that time when they're showing you that live video. Most of the times it is controlled, and it is after a certain time they've left at that big, location. You don't have those tools available to you on your personal profile. Those tools are usually available to you after you are 10 million and above in terms of following. So make sure you know and understand the social media tool you're utilizing to put yourself out there. Again, I also say don't put outdated information. If you have a profile, put information on it. Don't be lazy. If you don't want to use it, just close the information, because you're just confusing people about it and you're giving out wrong signals. People will be like, oh, she's not interested, or he's not interested in getting the right message across. She's just lazy. And you don't want that. You don't want to be portrayed as someone who's not current. You want to be portrayed as someone who's progressive, who's today, who's present. Now that does not come off when you have outdated information on your personal profiles. Don't bully others, be aggressive and hostile towards others online. Do not share political and religious views or intolerance online. If there's something that you don't agree with, don't put it out. And if it's something that someone else has shared, you don't have to comment on it. It's their life. Let them deal with however they want to, because it's not affecting your life anyway. You need to understand boundaries that you need to create when you're online and on social media, because even on social media, whatever you say, if it's hostile, it can leave an impact on someone for the longest of times and you don't realize it. Engage meaningful conversations related to your field, talent, business with other active users on social media platforms. So important. So choose the battles you want to fight and make sure that you're giving out information you want to give out. Make sure you're not giving out information that is outdated. Make sure you're not hostile towards people. Make sure that you're coming off as a professional person who's composed online. Now, on a personal profile, you could definitely show frustration to people you're close to because you have close people on it. But professionally, I always recommend people to not show their frustration online. It just doesn't work well for you. People will know your weak areas and they will know how to trigger you, which is not something you want people to know. Active and supportive communities are thriving online, so be a part of the change and communication. Facebook communities are so important for this. Things to consider: secure your personal images, unwanted fan mail, friendship requests, secure your online communication, avoid aggressive conversations and bullies, avoid conversation about other people's personal lives, political and religious views. Okay, so this is the most important thing that we are going to end the position, my session on. It's very important to understand that with social media comes greater responsibility for women and men both. But you have to educate your children today about what kind of content they should be sharing with people and what kind of content they should not be sharing with people. Peer pressure is one of the greatest things that motivate bullying online, cyberbullying. There's revenge pornography online that's going around and it's impacting people's lives. Women get, when they're in relationships, sometimes they'll be asked to share information, images that they would not otherwise, but they are pushed and pressurized into doing it, and then they are later blackmailed for it. So don't become a victim of blackmailing by sharing information online, because remember, whatever you put on the internet will be found sooner or later, even if you delete it. And it can go against you. People keep getting blackmailed. Women keep getting blackmailed because of screenshots. You don't want to end up that way. Me Too was the biggest movement that we saw in the last 2 years. And after the Me Too movement, you can see that there's been a huge change in the kind of DMs you keep getting. Like I was telling a bunch of my friends yesterday that the amount of personal imaging that I got, insensitive imaging that I got in my DMs has reduced drastically because of the Me Too movement and because people are now screenshooting anything inappropriate that's been sent to them and publishing it online. And that's why a lot of online harassment has reduced, but that doesn't mean that it has gone completely. It's because females don't know how to react sometimes. We're put into a place where we can't react. We are forced into situations in relationships. We are sometimes put through places, made to do certain things which we're not comfortable with, including sharing intimate images and conversations with people we think we trust. But trust me, you don't trust everyone with everything all the time. So make sure the content that you're putting out is consistent. It is what describes you. It's the branding that really depends on what you want to portray to the world. The content is right, the communication is continuous, it is clear, whatever conversation you're putting in, make sure you're consistent with it. For instance, people send me inbox messages, hi, let's meet up, I would like to talk about employee engagement with you, how do I progress in my career, what is the degree I should get, and then after I reply back to them, they'll be like, oh great, I'll get back to you, and they never really understand what they're doing, because if as a recruiter, I was talking to them about a position and they were really interested in it and they were asking genuine questions about it, but they never got back to me, I'm never really going to get back to them either. So you need to understand that when you're engaging in conversations, you're courteous enough to end it in the right tone. Avoid monotonous communication, avoid interruptions. So important. If you want to make sure that your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter news feeds are appearing on all your audience social media and newsfeed, make sure that you're giving out consistent information, because if you stop sending out information every day, at least 2 posts a day, your newsfeed is going to clear out from your audience's newsfeed. So a minimum of 2 posts are recommended if you want to stay on the newsfeed for everyone who's on your network. Make sure that it's appealing and keep it current. You don't want to publish information that was really old. You don't want to publish information that is redundant. You don't want to publish information that is not true, because you want to be known for who you are and that you're current and that you're present, and that's how you're going to show that you're a progressive person online. Easy on the eyes, make sure it's clean, it's not controversial, it doesn't show something that can offend people, it's something that can be read and seen easily. Remember that most of your audience is using a mobile and not internet laptops all the time. So whatever communication you're putting on your social media, you want that image to be recognizable even from a mobile device. So that brings us to the end of my presentation, and if you want to, you can follow my personal profiles on Maheen Noor Soomro, that's consistent on all platforms. And if you want to follow my company, you can follow it on Push. Thank you so much for